In today's video, you are going to learn how to import your data so that you can do an independent samples t-test. Before we talk about what an independent samples t-test is, we need to get our data into R so that we can work with it. You can see that I have typed a couple of headings here. Take a second and type this heading, Independent Samples T-Test, import your data. Okay. Step one, before we start to work with the data, is to get the data into R. The data that you have been provided with to do the independent samples t-test is in a CSV file called independent sample t-test. Go ahead and download that file and put it somewhere on your computer where you can find it. Now, this first line of code is how you import your data. As you know, these first two parts of the code are just to create a variable and to assign that variable some data. I've called the variable IND for independent t-test data. And then I assign it to the value that gets returned by read.csv. Be sure to type along with this code. Open parentheses, and as the argument that you're passing into read.csv, type file equals file.choose. Open and close parentheses. I'll give you a second to type that code. Now, when we run this code, a dialog box opens. This dialog box is created by file.choose. Now, you can navigate or you can find the file on your computer. This is where I've put the file on my computer. So I find it, independent sample t-test.csv. I double click on it, and now you can see that I have created this variable, and in that variable are some values saved that come from this file that I just chose. When I run this second line of code, the variable name, I can look inside the data frame that I just brought in. You can see that my data has two columns. Column 1 is explicit feedback. Column 2 is implicit feedback. In the next video, I will explain more about these two types of feedback and about what these data mean as we go to do the actual independent samples t-test. But for now, just make sure that you have imported this correctly. Next, after I import my data, I can look at some very simple descriptive statistics. Descriptive statistics give you information like the median and the mean and the quartiles of your data. To get the descriptive statistics, you can type summary, open parentheses, and then pass into summary your data, which we have saved in this variable. And then assign this value to another variable, call it descriptives or something like descriptives, and then you can look at the descriptive statistics. These descriptive statistics will be more important later when we run the t-test.